Prime Video gave us episode 4 of Season 3 Reacher a few hours ago. This episode provided some backstory for why Reacher is after Xavierr Quinn, or Julius Mcabe, and we know it's not good news. Not good news for the person Reacher pursues. No good news for Reacher himself, having learned the outcome of his last encounter with Quinn. This episode tingled my spidey senses and had me asking some questions. Possibly, you have the same questions on your mind, or maybe you can provide me with some answers. But before we attack the issue at hand, let's do a little recap of what Season 3 has for us. The season begins with Reacher staging a fake kidnapping with his federal agent friends, involving Jack, the son of Zachary Beck, to embed himself into the bizarre organization. He passes a little test that involves him playing Russian Roulette and seeing himself through the door.
You're gonna play Russian Roulette.
In the next 3 episodes, we will see him start to eliminate people in the organization to tie up loose ends from his op days.
You're about to be my new number 2.
One of these eliminations will see him rise to Beck's number 2. 4 eliminations so soon, a dangerous play. I mean, if somebody came into my organization and 4 people died, I'd start to have some doubts. But Zachary Beck is far from thinking that. We learn in the first 3 episodes that he is a man living in fear of his own life and everything he has. The person who holds these fears over him like he needs oxygen is Xavierr Quinn, the man Reacher is after. Susan Duffy, head of the Federal Task Force operation, will come to learn that Quinn is the man to fear too. Susan is chasing an undercover operative she placed in Beck's organization, whose cover is blown and is now being held by Quinn. Episode 4 tells the history between Reacher and Quinn, a history that should have been lost when Reacher assumed he had killed Quinn by shooting him in the head and letting him fall off a cliff into the water below. Surprise, assumption, kills. Reacher should have known better. All right, now that we're caught up, let's discuss some burning observations I have made. If this season has taught us anything, it's that Zachary Beck's entire life is being watched by Quinn. Reacher getting through the door might not have raised any questions, but how is it that Quinn does not find out who he is or become curious as he rises to Beck's number 2? Wasn't it Quinn who appointed Beck's previous number 2? How does he leave this decision to Beck this time? Is Quinn slipping up? For someone as ruthless as he's portrayed, could he be careless enough to let weeds grow? I mean, look at it this way. You find out that your IT guy, the person who controls your shipping manifests, runs background checks, etc., may be the one trying to sabotage you. You discover that he's in cahoots with 2 other employees. Doesn't that make you suspicious? We'll come back to Quinn shortly, but let's quickly return to Villanueva.
Reacher kills people off the books and doesn't seem to have a problem with it.
Villanueva makes a statement that forces us to consider our moral standards. He says that Reacher kills people off the books and doesn't seem to have a problem with it. As someone trying to do the right thing by taking bad people off the streets, is it okay that he is willing to become like the bad guys, breaking the laws and getting dirty? Villanueva asks Susan if it's worth it for them to follow the path Reacher is on, risking being locked in jail. It appears that in a short period, Reacher has managed to corrupt the law-abiding agents. Does the end justify the means in this case? I guess we'll have to find out in the season finale. It's not hard to guess that the good guys will always win in the end. They break the laws and walk away scot-free because, ultimately, they get Quinn killed or jailed. What do you think? I ask again. Does the end justify the means? Is it okay that people supposed to uphold the law break it in their pursuit of evil?
You got him. Let's go make the arrest.
Lastly, in episode 4, we see Reacher instruct Dominique to make the arrest for Quinn. Dominique takes along with her a new guy, whom Reacher knows isn't extremely qualified for the job. I find it worrying that 2 people went to arrest someone as dangerous as Quinn. Let's say 1.5, because the supporting arresting officer was only there for show, as we later see that whatever education Reacher gave him fell on deaf ears. He was shot in the back, proving that he had turned his back toward the enemy, something Reacher had specifically asked him not to do. Shouldn't Reacher be blaming himself for sending out such a team to make the arrest? In my opinion, he showed faulty discretion. Will we see more poor judgment calls from him this season? Regardless, having gotten the backstory between Reacher and Quinn makes the story even more interesting. The motive is clear. Reacher wants to find Quinn and finish the job he started. It's surprising that he hasn't met Quinn yet, since he started working for Beck. I've been working out various scenarios in my head, thinking about what he's going to do when he finally meets Quinn. Quinn will recognize him and know something fishy is up. There will be bad blood between them. Quinn won't forget that it was Reacher who tried to kill him, and if Reacher gets too close, he'll have to keep looking over his shoulder. He's going to try to eliminate Reacher. When Reacher has his back against the wall, which we will see happen this season, I'm curious to see how he makes his way out of the mess. Follow me on this journey as we explore alternatives for Reacher together.